and they don't have hard feelings against each other. So I think it's going to be good for. I think it's going to be good for everyone to see them together on the same team. I think that will kind of alleviate some of that
perceived tension between them.
Yes, that maybe is not even there.
No, it's there. We can feel it. Let's not act like we don't have the ability to read a room.
All right, welcome to this episode of The Fumble. I'm Samaria Terry, where I'm normally at, and Rodney be everywhere. Rodney, where are you at this week?
I'm where my spirit has led me to, beloved. No, I'm in Atlanta, just spending some time with some friends and family. You know, I live in LA, and it's exhausting. Sometimes you just need a break, so I'm on a little adult vacation. Yeah, feel me. You look nice today. I see you got the guns out. Flex on them one time.
I'm about to get my hair braided, so you know what that means.
Vacation. Anyway, let's get into the fumble.
So Klay Thompson is headed to Dallas. It's being reported that the four-time champion has agreed to a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Mavericks, ending his historic 13-year run with the Warriors. It's also being alleged that Klay wants to win a 5th title with the Mavericks. Rodney, was he the missing piece that Dallas needed to win an NBA title?
Hell no. I love Klay. I think Klay is amazing. I feel like what the Mavericks really needed was another versatile playmaker on the wing, somebody else who can get their own offense, create for themselves and others, the way that Kyrie and Luka did, because they had to deal with the versatility of the Celtics defenders. And so Klay, you know, with all due respect, is somewhat one-dimensional, especially at this point in his career. And so he does not alleviate the pressure of Kyrie and Luka having to create all the offense for everybody.
Ooh, I will say that him deciding not to re-sign with Golden State, going to Dallas, showed that he was ready to leave. I kind of am interested to know what was going on there behind the scenes, but I thought it was funny that ESPN commentators had so much to say about Klay Thompson during the season, particularly during the playoffs when he had to be benched to close out games, and now they're saying that Golden State really did him wrong. What do you think about that?
That is, it's such an interesting way the media repositions themselves at any given moment. Like, with all due respect, Klay did not have his best season last year. Despite not having his best season, he did put up pretty good numbers, right? He shot 39% from three. He averaged 18 points per game, right? So that is solid. But if you watch the game, like just the eye test, I've never seen Klay hit the side of the backboard so many times in my life. There were certain games where I'm like, is this the same guy? Now, maybe he was too relied upon in Golden State. And so being like the 4th option, which I think he'll be on the Mavericks, will make his job a little bit easier. But ultimately, like I feel like Klay felt like he was being disrespected by the franchise who he's been with since the first day he was drafted. And that's what ultimately let him out the door.
Yeah, and I mean, like you just mentioned, the chemistry was clearly off. I saw that both Steph and Draymond, they were really emotional about Klay's departure, but I feel like Draymond played a little bit into that.
Why,
the chemistry being off. The punch, and then maybe some of his antics this past season.
But is that any different than any Draymond season?
But I think that it hit differently. It's like, okay, now we old now. We
got to grow up. That's interesting. Okay.
Thank you for finishing.
I get what you're saying. I'm gonna tell a story. So I went on a road trip recently with a good friend of mine, right? I've known him since college. And we get to where we're going in Virginia. And he plays a joke on the household where he takes a number 2 and just leaves it in the toilet bowl and doesn't flush intentionally. And he's thinking it's so hysterical. I'm like, bro, we're not in college no more. So to your credit, sometimes the antics that we were okay with when we were younger, we can't sit and be okay with and be cool with present day. So no taking number 2s in the toilet and not flushing.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Anyways, I do feel like it was time for the Splash Brothers to split up as well.
Do you really?
I do feel like it was time. I feel like the chemistry was so off. And
I don't think the chemistry was off, though.
You just said we could, if you look at the eye test.
Listen, Klay has dealt with catastrophic injuries, an Achilles and an ACL tear, right, in back-to-back seasons. So his ability to move around and be the athlete that he once was is just gone. And as you get older, right, like you need to have some younger legs in there to make your job a little bit easier. I feel like the Warriors swung and missed, especially with James Wiseman, and that really was the first domino that changed the course of their franchise. If James Wiseman would have came in and been able to been a contributing player, then we're looking at a different situation. Right now, you got to deal with somebody who's an actual legitimate post presence, a lob threat. Klay's job hasn't gotten easier. You can't expect the same Klay Thompson in year 13 as you did in year 2. So there weren't enough young pieces that were not of a different position, right? Because you do have Pozinski, you do have Kuminga, but they're on the wing, so is Klay. There's nobody else that was brought in to offset what Klay does well.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But y'all let us know your thoughts. Do you feel like the Warriors losing Klay Thompson is a terrible decision by the front office, or did Klay make the right choice for himself by going to Dallas? Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever took on a pair of legends this week and came out victorious in one game, but got their ass kicked in the other. On Sunday, the much-anticipated matchup between Clark and Diana Taurasi took place, and the Fever actually walked away with the dub over the Mercury after Clark posted a very close triple-double. But in their matchup Tuesday against the Las Vegas Aces, the Fever took a big L, no Harlem. You probably don't get that reference, Samaria, because you not like that. Caitlyn Clark had a plus-minus of -19. So, Samaria, my question is, did Caitlyn show that she should be seen as an equal to Diana and Asia for this lone season, not historical?
That's a little extreme there. I don't know about that. I want to know what you think. Why did you ask me that?
No. I asked you the question. You not put me on the hot seat. Do you feel like Caitlyn should be seen as an equal to Asia and Diana in this one lone season?
No, I don't think that's fair to compare them, because you have to kind of put into perspective everything that Asia and Diana have done to get to this point.
Okay.
I don't know about that, Rodney. You really put me in the hot seat, and I don't like it. But what I will say is that I appreciate the respect. We saw some really great moments between Diana and Caitlyn during the game, Brittany Griner and Caitlyn during the game. Just across the league, I feel like the veterans have done a really great job at even just teaching during the game with some of the rookies. And so that's what I would like to pivot to, if we can. Thank you.
You are a dance master. That was crazy. That was an elite level of avoiding and deflecting.
Well, you answer the question. What do you think?
All right, let me preface my response by saying this. Caitlyn's team is bad, and her coach is awful. And I've been saying this since maybe week 2 of the season. She has done nothing to figure out how to help Caitlyn. This is why I feel like Caitlyn can be considered an equal to both Asia and Diana in this season alone. Okay? Now, the game against the Fever was the most viewed game of Diana Taurasi's career ever.
Okay.
Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces had the highest regular season in-game attendance in the WNBA since 1999 when they hosted who? The Fever.
Okay.
So even if on the court, Caitlyn Clark is not putting up the numbers that maybe Asia, not even maybe that, she's definitely not putting up the numbers that Asia and Diana are putting up, her impact off the court and the viewership that she brings in makes her an equal. It makes her a peer. And that's the argument that so many people have been making in defense of Caitlyn Clark. She is doing things that this league has never seen before. We have to stop acting like we cannot embrace her because she hasn't proven herself on the court, because what she has proven is that she is a commodity that people want to see, and that is what people have been begging for the WNBA to aid its growth and development.
I mean,
argue it.
I'm not arguing it. You're not wrong. You were not clear in your question. I thought you were talking about impact on the floor.
Impact is impact.
We already know her impact off the court. That is no debate.
Okay.
We're talking about her impact on her team and in the game.
But I feel like people talk about her like she's averaging 6 points a game. She put up a 15, 10, and 9 stat line.
I didn't say
so
that.
she outplayed Diana Taurasi by all accounts in that game.
I agree. But we can also talk about maybe a leadership piece.
Is everybody required to be a leader? Is Kevin Durant a leader?
No.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes talent is just
dancing?
talent.
I get that, but who's dancing?
Well, I'm not dancing. I dropped out of preschool because I don't want to play no games. They wanted to dance through the hokey pokey. I wasn't with it. You dig what I'm saying? That's not who I am. I'm just saying. Now we having a conversation about leadership. I'm talking about her what she does on the court and the impact that she has for the game in totality. She's a peer. Okay. She's an equal, and in some regards,
I think that was a very loaded question.
For sure, of course, I'm gonna load you up.
But if you're talking about big picture impact worldwide, yes, she's a peer.
You agree? Okay, she is a peer.
Yes. Yes.
That
she
belt
can be up there. I never said that she wasn't. I've only argued with you about impact in game, impact on team, not WNBA impact.
Well,
not
let me say
women's basketball worldwide impact.
If she had better teammates, she would have better numbers. She'd have a better record. Her teammates can't catch. They can't make layups. But she will have a new teammate coming up who will be the beneficiary of her phenomenal passing ability. And that, of course, is Angel Reese, as both were selected as All-Stars to take on the U.S. Women's National Team. The first time ever that Caitlyn and Angel will be on the floor together, sharing the same jersey. What do you think about that? The cameras are going to be going crazy. You already know.
The ladies, we've been talking about them for weeks. So deserving of this honor. I'm glad that they will get together. And they don't have hard feelings against each other. So I think it's going to be good for... I think it's going to be good for everyone to see them together on the same team. I think that will kind of alleviate some of that... What do you call it? Like this...
Perceived tension between them?
Yes, thank you. That maybe is not even there.
No, it's there. We can feel it. Let's not act like we don't have the ability to read a room. We can read between the lines of some of their comments. They're both very stoic when speaking about each other, and so it will be interesting to see how they work with each other. Or do they warm up together? Does Caitlyn feed her balls in warm-ups? Like, that'll be an interesting dynamic to see because I think the whole world has wondered what their relationship actually is, and this will be a phenomenal way to figure that out.
I think it's good. I think it's a good relationship. Anybody listen to you, Rodney, but you all don't follow Rodney. You let us know what you think down in the comments. All right, let's move back to the NBA. Bronny James was drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers with the 55th pick in this year's NBA draft, joining his father, LeBron. This is the first player to be drafted into the NBA while his father is an active player. This is a two-parter for you, Rodney. Was this a good move for Bronny and the Lakers? And many are saying that this is the best father-son duo in sports history. Do you agree with that?
Who said that? Yo, Bronny will have to make at least 3 or 4 all-star teams in order to be considered one half of the best father-son duo. And maybe he will do that. I don't know. I have high hopes and expectations for what Bronny is capable of accomplishing in this league. But let me just list off a couple of father and son duos. You got Steph Curry and Dell Curry, Barry and Bobby Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Earnhardt, right? So there are a long list of father-son duos who have done phenomenal things in their respective sports. But Bronny it's like day 3. He don't even know where he been. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can we tell if they're the best father and son duo if he's never played an actual professional game?
I agree. No, I wholeheartedly agree. Well, my first part of the question was, do you feel like Bronny going to the Lakers is a good fit?
Yeah, sure. I think no nonsense, yo. I've been arguing about this in my group chats for weeks now. Bronny is 6'1". He has a 6'7" wingspan. He is an elite athlete, a phenomenal decision maker. He is a much better shooter than I think people realize. I think the kid has a lot of potential, and I'm not just saying that because he's LeBron James' son. I live in California. I watched him in high school. I watched him in the McDonald's All-American game. Up until that cardiac arrest moment, I thought he had a potential to have a really good year at USC. I think he has a ton of potential, and he wants to be a role player. He does not want to be a superstar in the NBA. He wants to star in his role, and that's the kind of guy that teams covet. Those are the kind of guys who stick around for a long time. So yeah, I think that it's a phenomenal pickup by the Lakers outside of him being LeBron's son.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think for me, though,
here you go.
During his press conference, he said that playing with his dad was not his main focus. I know that it was LeBron's, though. And I question how much this is going to affect him. I think this can either be really good or maybe not so good. I think, and maybe I'm putting myself in Bronny's shoes. I feel like if I was the son of the best player in the league right now, I would want to venture out and spread my wings somewhere else, because I feel like he's not been able to kind of get out of his comfort zone. You know, he's been in LA his entire life. Well, not his entire life, but for the majority of his teenage years and then his adult life now. So I'm kind of questioning that. We know that Rich Paul made a lot of phone calls letting teams know, listen, don't even try to draft him. They knew where they wanted him to go. Like I said, I question how good is this going to be for him mentally. I'm not questioning his physical talents at all.
Yeah. Listen, I think the only thing up front that'll be a little hard for him to deal with is trying to get some cheeks on road trips with his dad in the next room. I'm just being honest, man. You can't clap cheeks if your daddy is staying in the next door to you. So that will be challenging for him to navigate. You acting like that's not a thing? Are we acting like that's not a thing? Come on, yo.
I would be more so worried about mom because she's going to be right there.
Mom is not on the road trips and she's not staying at the team hotel probably. So every now and again, but she, by and large, he's gonna have to navigate, hollering at women and wanting to be social, maybe clubbing in front of his father. That would be the most uncomfortable part for me, and that's the only thing that I worry about for Bronny. But I think all the other stuff, it actually bodes for him to have a successful career. He's been insulated his entire teenage life and his first year in college. I think that Clutch Sports does a phenomenal job in protecting their athletes. You don't really hear too many things about Clutch athletes in the news and the media. There's a reason for that. I can't go into detail, but it's not like their athletes are impervious to making mistakes. They just know how to cover up mistakes when they happen, right? And so I think that he will be protected, and that'll give him the opportunity to maximize his on-court ability.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. Y'all let us know. Do you think it was a good pickup by the LeBron? Oh, my God, by the LeBrons.
No, you was right. Yeah. You're right.
They are the LeBrons. They are the LeBron Lakers. That's a fact. Y'all let us know. Was it a good pickup by the Lakers to sign Bronny James? And do you think that being with his father full-time on the NBA roster will be to his detriment or his benefit? All right, so as you know, we regularly highlight comments left under our videos or social media pages that we feel may need a direct response from us. So keep leaving your comments, and you may end up getting a response, even though y'all know I be going back and forth in the comment section all day long. This week, we got to address a comment about our Angel Reese and John Wall coverage from just last week. So Donald Tillman, 4351, said, Angel is the clear rookie of the year right now. So let me get this straight, Rodney. We should feel bad for a man, John Wall, but not for a 21-year-old woman? Come on, man. Before I kick this man's ass, Samaria, what are your thoughts about this comment from Don Tillman?
This is really interesting because I want to say when we talked about this last week, I don't necessarily feel like you did not have empathy for Angel, just not as much as I did. But I don't feel like you're just like against her or more so for John. I think you more have like a personal relationship.
That's my dog.
With the John,
That's my dog.
Yeah, with the John Wall story.
Yeah, but even outside of John being my dog, right? I feel like sometimes the word empathy is not applied appropriately. And there are different levels of empathy because different situations require different levels of empathy, right? For John to have his career unceremoniously ripped from his hands prematurely, I think that he is dealing with a level of mental stress and frustration from that experience, from not being able to do the thing that he loves, that he has prepared his entire life to do anymore, versus somebody who's getting backlash for doing the thing that they love to do. To me, and this is all a matter of perspective, right? Like, this is just how I feel. I feel that one is just way more critical than the other. This is a man who's been discarded of. Angel's not being discarded. She's being disregarded at times, and at times she's being disrespected, but she is still very able and capable of creating a life for herself, for her family. She has a long runway ahead of her to have a phenomenal career. She's playing fantastic basketball. She had 12 and 19 just 2 nights ago. Her stat lines are impeccable. She's balling. I recognize that. I honor that. But what my guy is going through is something that has the ability to potentially make him want to take his own life, which he has admitted in the past. So this is a man who's been dealing with the possibility of self-transition. So of course I'm going to empathize with somebody who's been in that level of dark space in comparison to somebody who doesn't like what people are saying about them. All things ain't equal, Donald. All things ain't equal.
I will say though that I feel like some of the things that have been said about Angel have been really difficult. And I feel like if you're not in the best headspace to, even though she's doing what she loves to do, and like you said, she's balling out every night. I think if you open up your phone and you see thousands of people against you and calling you such vile names, I will say that could be difficult, really difficult on a person as well.
I'm not negating her experience. I'm not minimizing her trauma. I'm highlighting a trauma of a man who doesn't have the opportunity to redeem himself. Angel is still in the league. Every time she plays a game, there is a media opportunity post-game in which she can defend herself, to reposition her standing amongst people who say negative things about her. John don't have that platform anymore. He is unplatformed. You know what I mean? That's an entirely different thing. And I would also like to say, because he brought up gender, and I keep using man and woman because they are a man and woman, but this is not about gender. Fam, like to me, like I am not more empathetic or sympathetic towards somebody because of their gender, their race, or anything, right? I look at the circumstances of an individual's specific life and what's going on with them. I'm not overly sympathetic and empathetic towards women. I'm not more empathetic and sympathetic towards men. I look at everybody equally. And yo, if you need extra attention, if you need a bandage or you need stitches and this person needs a Band-Aid, I'm gonna handle the stitches first, because to me, that's the bigger priority, because again, all things ain't equal. There's some wounds that just run deeper. And that's where I chose to give an abundance of empathy, but it does not mean that I was devoid of empathy for Angel Reese.
Yeah, so you all let us know what you thought of this back and forth between Rodney and Donald. Are you team Rodney? Or are you team Donald? Let us know how you feel down in the comments.
Donald, with your ass. Gang! All right, Samaria. My fumble of the week this week is going to Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, who has done less than nothing to improve the Lakers roster this offseason. As much as I love Dalton Connect, and as much as I'm rooting for Bronny James, if we are counting on rookies to make up for the glaring weaknesses and holes of this roster, we are insulting LeBron James' legacy and greatness in this late chapter of his career. I need to know, why is D'Angelo Russell still on this team? Who is the backup center? Who's the starting center? I mean, what shooters have this team acquired to keep the floor spaced, to make up for how the modern NBA game is played? This roster is barren. It's barren with talent. LeBron offered to take less money if Rob could find somebody who was worthwhile, right? He said, yo, you get Valanciunas, you get Klay Thompson, you get KCP in here, I'll take less money. Today, LeBron said, man, get my goddamn money. Y'all playing in here. Y'all ain't even signing nobody. Get my max contract, bruh. And rightfully so. Rob was not able to sign Klay Thompson, whose father works for the team, right? Klay grew up a Laker fan. He was not able to sell him on becoming a Los Angeles Laker, which made me step back and think, has Rob Pelinka ever outright signed a free agent? Never. He's never outright signed a big-time free agent in his Lakers tenure, other than LeBron James, but LeBron James chooses the Lakers. The Lakers do not choose LeBron James. That's just how it goes. But the Lakers in this moment are not a championship contending team. And they are a reality show, if we're going to be honest. And while I sit back and I cheer for the experience of watching LeBron James play with Bronny James, being the first father and son duo in the NBA to ever play on the same team, ultimately the Lakers, I thought, were a championship caliber franchise. And Rob Pelinka is leaving this team incapable of keeping up with the Boston Celtics, and they will not be hanging a banner this year. So, Samaria, my question for you is, what are your thoughts on, one, my fumble of the week, but also the job that Rob Pelinka has done with this roster for the next season?
Oh, man. You know, honestly, I feel like Klay Thompson leaving the Golden State Warriors and them kind of, you know, everybody talking about all of the things that the Warriors are doing, or the way that they have created an avenue to possibly bring somebody in there to help Steph. It just exposed LA and the job that they have not done to do the same thing around LeBron. They have not created this runway of success for LeBron. They have not been able to do it. And it's, I mean, oh gosh, it's really bad. And like you just said, LeBron is getting his money now. So he's going to get that max deal, 2-year, $104 million, no trade. My question to you is this Pelinka's team or is this LeBron's team?
It's LeBron and Rich Paul's team. We know that. We know that. Listen, Pelinka was Kobe's guy. So his ties with the Lakers go back since, Kobe was very young in his career. And that is the reason why he's so beloved by the Busses and by Kurt Rambis and his wife. And I understand that. But the relationship isn't bearing the kind of fruit that it should. Never has the Los Angeles Lakers been incapable of landing a free agent. This team has not signed a single free agent this offseason. That's not like hyperbole. Like, they have not signed anybody in this offseason. Yeah. They gave all their players last year, all their minimum contract players, they gave them player options. All those players picked up their option, and so now they were hamstrung and handicapped and didn't have the room to even really sign Klay. It would have had to be a sign and trade. Right? So Rob Pelinka is the one who gave those contracts. So Rob Pelinka put this team in a position to not be able to get better this offseason. So he continues to just put paint over holes in the wall. And I think that this is the season which it finally comes to a head. And yeah, that's disappointing for me as a Lakers fan and somebody who lives in LA.
Yeah. How much do you feel like the constant coaching changes have impact that too? Do players maybe not want to?
That's not a factor. That's not a factor. Living in LA, being able to have that LA weather, playing with LeBron James are all attractive things for free agents. But for whatever reason, the Lakers just never seem to have the cap space, nor do they have a real plan to create room to sign players like a Klay Thompson when you knew that roster had major holes, when you knew you didn't have adequate three-point shooting. And JJ Redick, maybe he come in and he'll bring some phenomenal system we've never seen before, but by and large, it's highly unlikely. So y'all let us know your thoughts on my fumble of the week. Is it deserving of Rob Pelinka to receive said fumble for his lack of structure for this upcoming NBA season's roster?
So that's all for this week of The Fumble. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode. Make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on all of our social media pages. We deliver the latest in sports every day on our YouTube page with Jackie Ray, and then every Friday right here at The Fumble with myself, Samaria Terry, and my crazy co-host, Rodney Rakai.
What was his name? What was his name? D. Walton? Whatever his name was. This for you, champ. Uppercut. Get him out of here.
It was Donald Tillman.
Donald Tillman. You too.